Welcome back, friends. Last guy here in time for more Great Ace Attorney, so let's continue forward here. I already figured out what I was going to do. Dr. Gregson? No. What was I going to do? Oh, go there, Madame Tespels. A museum of interesting waxwork exhibits not far from Baker Street. It's become a very popular London attraction in recent years. Here's what hell he is. I'd love to know what he's up to, wouldn't you? Alright. Here we go. 22nd of October, Madame Tespels Museum of Waxworks. Oh snap! Oh snap! Oh snap! Pretty good one right there. Hello, ma'am. What is this? Look at these terrifying scenes! But why are all the people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Widow? Shocked? Wax models? I read about the dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, the parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called adipocere. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Wuno. You're scaring me. Anyway, adipocere doesn't form readily, you know. It's only in what? It's only in very specific. What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. Now you're exhibiting here a wheel. They're all entirely man-made replicas. They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them. Oh. There's no way anybody could make models of people that are this realistic. Freaking Sholmes just hanging out. And they're all such gruesome scenes. This was Jack the Ripper right there? Wait. Wait. What is it? Oh no. I must be seeing things. Oh, what the balls is this about over here? You have to just click on that. Is this an arm? It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over. You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? Oh no. So stop scaring me. Is it a wax arm or a real one? Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours at court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels. Objection! Hell no! Hell to the no. Okay, look at this one. Is this some infamous murder? Yes, called Jane the Whipper. All our victims were young women. Oh my god, they're doing Jack with Jane, okay. Yeah, I knew it. You can tell by the way she's holding that knife. You're a sign of murder. Well, yes. What's the matter, Wuno? I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have the soak in her victim's gore. Not according to the information about the exhibit on the widow board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub. Really? Sorry, I don't think it's significant. I still think it has to be there for a reason. Not everything's a Chekhov's gun, I suppose. So Jack the Ripper, Jane the Ripper. Nothing particular here. I meant to go over. There we go. What's going on here? These models are so well made. I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about. Just thinking about it makes me wish it was close. Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already and I was on my way home. Is this an example of Western Sujigiri? I don't know what that is. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword? I still don't know, no. But actually, a waxwork samurai will probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Wuno? Doing that Sujigiri thing you mentioned? Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. For now, at least! For now, at least. It's the great detective, Sherlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really? Well, he is world famous after all. It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it. I know! But look, Winner, you can kick this Howie and he doesn't even move a muscle. Do it! Oh my god. You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait! It's like, did she nut kick him? Did she nut kick him? It's like, it just moved, I'm sure. And not just a little bit either. Really? Did it? I look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Kick it in the dick again. Kick it in the dick again. Kick it in the dick again. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look. There's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing. Hold it! My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes? I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick, could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me. Oh, Wano has something he needs to ask you. Huh? A question? And I thought you'd probably be getting bored, too. But here we are. So they didn't make a wax of him, he just stands here as his own thing? Well, I can't deny that your timing is impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like that. And my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Oh, Howie. You do like to talk nonsense, don't you? You could know something, it's true. About Lord Von Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For your own luck, I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. But for now, I must return to my work. What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? So how do we get his attention? I'll just talk at him. Madam Test Bells. What is this place? Madame Tispels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. And there are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actually real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tispels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Ugh, that sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned. Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions. Jesus! That really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Tispels family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is the House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the great exhibition. The people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So, the hideous exhibits are in here are... They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he? Temporary waxworks. What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with me. With us? Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money. He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent. And I have the ravenous iris to consider. Oh, Harry. I'm so hungry. What? If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murders and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? I curse you. Something to ask you. Well? What is it you'd like to ask me, then? Actually, it's about Lord Von Zeeks. Our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust? And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Von Zeeks, about Professor Harebrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Von Zeeks such a different person. I was sure you'd know, Hurley. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot, and that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the unavailable... Greetings. Oh, snap, another lady. Oh, hello. Where did she appear from? What's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? Hello. I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we? Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again. My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tuspels. This is my museum of waxwork. What? You're the Madame Tuspel? Spells? Bien, sir. Though only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madam in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather, one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes, then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. Oh dear. Oh my god. He sounds very serious. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Von Zeke's now? Let's not forget what Harry said before. About something being afoot right here in the museum, I mean. Yes, I know, but... I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Well, let's talk to her now. The waxworks. Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspels? I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Gosh. It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikness. All these waxworks really do work as though they're alive. In fact, they work more alive than Harry. Hehe. What you see exhibited here, it represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of real people on which they were modelled. In the hours immediately following their executions, that is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade per excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Yeah, why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are modelers of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope. He was obviously dragging me straight in here, come to think of it. Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things. The great Detective Waxwork. What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model? He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. Or words to that effect. Ha! Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's great, Detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services? For a mere £500? I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Oh god! Or words to that effect. Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment, due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead. Sure doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50 shilling problem. That must be resolved by the morning. Or words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? I wonder, could I ask you something? Bien, sir. I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he's disappeared! A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for a trade. I don't know who's saying that. Ah! I was able... There you are! Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madame Tispels, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Oh, it's time for detection? Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. But please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance. Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Time to deduce. Before engaged in my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is the Tispels special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. Must have picked a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolutely none. There is nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madam. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Ah! I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a sukon. Number 139. I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Tispels special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwood killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What a strike one, however. Isn't that... Is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor? We've seen this man before, but I forget where. Well then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself? I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they're always distinguishable from real humans. So allow me to present my two conclusions. The first, that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. Ah! She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Tuspels, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective at temporary exhibit at work. Here we go! The great deduction! The game is afoot. Drink some water. Ah, crap, I didn't see it! The waxwork something! Crap, I didn't see it! Ah, crap. It's too busy getting water. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so hopefully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200. That is all my own money. She owns the place, so yes. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by the public notice. It's like, Waxwork for sale? Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, with a sum of £200. None! Now let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock. The cause of which is clearly known to you. Ah! Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shock blow was, of course, the £200. Nope. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of £200. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him that what an extortionate amount he was paying. The money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene was we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. Waxwork's fate. Topic 1. Sold for cash. Alright. Part 2. Waxwork location. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But next we turn our attention to the old man who sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact, as if he were a waxwork. Oh! But your action only confirmed my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. 3 pence. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. The 3 pence? The 3 pence? Tragically low price, you might say. Well, perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behaviour that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam? I do not... Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. Discovered already. My best guess is this is going to be linked to the main case at some point, because they're using a body. This concludes Herlock Sholmes's great detection of this horrifying puzzle. Just wanted to yell, you got it all wrong! All of it! I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Howie, you have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her quadrant looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, Vinditorius not a huddle 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman? Ottermole? What? Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole. Ottermole? So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is £200 a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective. So it is quite a lot, then? Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. The bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me. Mrs. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions. I like how at the start they showed Iris getting everything correct perfectly, and that we have Sholmes always getting it wrong. Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight. Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame dispels vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame dispels, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective in temporary exhibit at work. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright, so I have Waxwork's fate. Alright, skip this part. Alright, keep going. Yeah, where's she looking? Okay, let's see here. She definitely looked in this direction, it's true. but I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks even for 200 pounds. Oh? You must put her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over a bit of wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance. Let's find a furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it. Note on the wall, 200. What's that note doing pinned on the wall there? Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madam to Spells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Oh, someone took one of her figures. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October. What? It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone's kidnapped. Yes, it's a ransom note. Exactly. Present that.
Take that!
The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness. Abducting a waxwork. Huh! 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock. You gone. Yeah, we heard this before. Here it is. So the waxwork was kidnapped. Where does that leave us in terms of who this man is? We could just ask him when he comes around. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. Yes, you're right. Oh, he's trying so hard, we must wet him down. We mustn't wet him down. Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tispel's trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. What? Hand of Madame? This is Madame Tispel's right hand, isn't it? That's a left hand. Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all. Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well, look. Huh. Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please. And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really stiff, really hard. You mean... it's made of wax? Yeah, let's go with the wax and see what happens.
Take that!
Alright, so what's going on here? What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that in fact it's a left hand. Ah! And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It is the hand of a waxwork model. Yeah! Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. Ah. He confronted the man and tried to take the arm back? And the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. There we go. Sold for cash? No, kidnapped. There you go. Next question is, where is it? It's not been discovered. It's missing. Skip, 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 skip. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway. A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret exclusively guarded by Scotland Yard. And Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away. Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course. Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tespel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the men quite correctly. He's the one missing an arm. What the? The man has a stub sticking out from his shoulder where his arm should be. Ah, well that settles that then. Right, this isn't a real person at all. Entire arms were whipped off from the shoulder down. His arm's been... Of course, that ties in with what we just found out.
Take that!
Shoulder stub. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of course I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds. A wax model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man. Naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. Okay, skipping. There we go. A killer policeman called Otter Mole, was it? Was he well known? It was all over the papers last year. I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price though. 3 pumpkins isn't much money. Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garrett's delightful lodgings, in fact. Well, this is a special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? A waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for £200. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole, really? Perhaps we should go have a good look around again and see if any other ideas pop up. Yes. Ha ha ha, there it is. Twitch. Oh, look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy. He seems to be fast asleep, though. He's not tapping his foot consciously, then? So you mean, it must be a twitch. Never mind that, the point is waxworks don't tap their feet. Or twitch. And look at his arm, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? I don't believe it. The secret sign that lets our other detectives know some criminal activity is underway. It's a secret sign that lets she was saying it. It's a secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activity is underway. Yes, it's a slightly strange color choice of outfit if he was trying to go unnoticed. Ah, he must be a detective disguised as a policeman. Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman. Doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though. Perhaps you should try to be a little more polite about him, Myers. Well, I think this is the way to go with the Twitch.
Take that!
There we go. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious Twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of objectives, then. And there you have it, well, Madam Tuspells. Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at the local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm? Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, a secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because, as you know, there has been just such criminal activities happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective. So it would seem that we finally arrived at the truth. The waxworthy, especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit, has been kidnapped. Huh. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Oh god, how does Holmes get it wrong and then it's okay to get corrected? Still a mystery. I guess because Irish usually fixes his problems. Deduction complete. Elementary. We're gonna stop in a minute. All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Okay. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. It was a pleasure, my dear madam. I'm gratified that you enjoy the spectacle. As for your rough customer, I have no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. Yes, tragically, it was. Then I would ask you to recount us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please. Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. So this will be next time, so save for now. Because that's going to be a bit, I'm sure. So that was fun. Yep, I had fun. Hope you had fun watching. That's what's up, Bezant. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.